All right. Starting the stream. Stream says we're started.
Yeah, I believe we are. Welcome.
All right.
Welcome,
This
YouTube.
is the usual banter that we do beforehand as we try to set up, because we're not pros and have a different screen that we hide behind.
Should we? You're showing off your new deck there. That's what's.
Well, it's because the rest of the room is an absolute mess right now, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is what, yeah.
But you got the on-air sign there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do. I've had that before, but I had to turn the brightness on it. Like, it's like barely on, and this camera's like making it like flare a bit. But just getting stuff, and here we go. Okay. There we go. Sorry about this if we're like taking a little bit too long.
Oh, it's okay. We're working.
That's okay. We're just in the background here, getting ready to go.
Behind the scenes.
In the background, in the foreground. Yeah, no, I was thinking of doing an intro type video.
Oh yeah.
For it with the music and stuff like that we could sort of hide behind while setting all this up, and then you could just click on it like as a different scene in OBS.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
So, all right. So, are we ready?
Let's do this.
All right, here we go.
Hello, and welcome to the More About Jesus podcast. My name is Al Martins. I am here with my cousin, Daniel Dunbar. Say hello, please, Daniel. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and that's why we're sort of like muddling our way through the intro here, because it's been like 3 months since we've actually gotten back together. So,
well, muddling is our MO.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we can't break with style now. People are used to the muddle.
we keep it real, people. We keep it real. That's right. We are not pros at this. It's like this is like starting of season 3 here, but we are nowhere near being professional yet.
Maybe by season 20. No, I don't like being professional. Professional's boring. Yeah, but so this is officially the launch of season 3. We're just doing because we have a big break in the summer, and then when we come back, we just call it the launch of a season. It's not really a set thing. You guys should understand that we do this when it's best for us too, every other week, and so if we miss, we miss, and we're gonna talk about some of that stuff today. Why we've kind of started a little later this season. Where do we even start with that? Like, who catches up first?
Okay, well, how was the beginning of your summer? Because I mean, we stopped. When did we stop? June? I think June was our last.
Mm-hmm.
I think June was our last one, wasn't it? Beginning of June, and somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't look it up. I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah. So how was the beginning of your summer?
Not as good as some, because I still was in. I'm in the same company working, the company that you see on my hat, working for ETG, but I was at a plant that was somewhat toxic. The situation was not the best, and physically taxing and those kind of things. So I had a lot of days that I just didn't want to. It was like, I'm sure some people can relate to this. You have the Indeed app on your phone, and every day you're looking for work. That's kind of sad, but yeah, that's where I was in the beginning, and my wife was still struggling with some finding a balance with her mood, with a depressive episode.
Oh,
so so it was not. We had some ups and downs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not bad. It was just in sort of, we get in a mode where we put our feet down and we can get through this.
Yeah. And then you switched, didn't you? You got a different position.
Yeah. And that was one of the biggest changes in my life. So I'm a grader, so I count and grade pulse crops. And I'm now like the chief grader or the head grader or whatever you want to.
The master grader.
Yes, that one you have to be
Alan,
very careful when you say it.
Grader.
Yeah. Master.
So you take blocks of cheese and grate them.
Yeah, I'm just that guy that comes out in the what is it, Olive Garden with the little crank thing and say when.
Oh.
Grate the Parmesan cheese.
You got the Parmesan cheese on the thing.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm the technical guy, so I'm the bottom line on the quality of the product coming in.
Nice.
To all of our plants in North Battleford, I have to check. In fact, just before this, I was calling someone called me about a load coming in that I had to see some pictures of. And
oh, wow.
So it's a heavier responsibility, but less physical, but I'm embracing it. So some of my days are very busy, but it's good.
Oh, good.
So, but it's taken a lot of my energy now. So my creative energies are not as much there. When I do grunty kind of work, then I need something like, so I'm creating worlds for a fake core campaign or thinking through and organizing the RPG that I'm developing or writing a novel or.
Yeah.
But right now, all my energy mentally is going to make sure that I do a good job in my work.
Yeah.
And not just that, I'm actually able to be a positive influence and we have a really good set of guys right now.
Oh, nice.
And I'm able to be encouraging and back them up, and the environment is very healthy, which is very, very nice.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, work's been going good. But my only outlet is I play D&D, which I'll be doing right after this.
Yes.
I may die. Falman Tinkerfoot may die.
Oh, no.
I got a book.
Oh, no.
So
oh, yeah?
It's just a fancy... so I just take notes like I'm Valman, just like of telling about my adventure as I go.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, rock
that way the character has like a story arc that you can follow.
Yeah, unless he
cool.
dies tonight, then that book is kind of going to stay mostly empty.
Well, and then you start another character, and that's the next chapter.
Yeah, but they should have their own book.
Oh, well,
the story of it. It'll just be a sad book on my shelf.
Yeah. Actually, one of the fan theories. I'm just gonna get into like a bit of a nerdy thing here. One of the fan theories for Stranger Things is that they're actually like the four main characters are actually like in their 40s, sitting there playing D&D, reminiscing about the 80s.
Oh wow!
And that the whole storyline of everything that's happening in the show Stranger Things is just a campaign for them to play through. How's that for a fan theory?
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and then like the end of the show would just be like them as 40-year-olds just going back, and there's like, man, that was such an intense, campaign. I wish we, we've been doing this for like the past 2 years or something like that, right? And that's just like their characters and everything like that was just
like just like Dallas. It was all a dream.
Dallas. Was it? Oh my goodness, I never watched it, so I don't know.
I know. It's a famous old television show that ended a season with a death and then just started the next season off with it was all a dream.
It was all just a dream.
Yeah. We're like lost. They were dead the whole time. What? Spoiler alert.
Oh, I didn't know. I never watched Lost. I'm sorry. I'm not that good of a nerd on some of the TV shows that were popular. So
Oh, that's all right. So, what about your early summer?
My early summer was okay. We hung out with a lot of our friends, and so that was really good. We did a few barbecues, and yeah, I think did we do? I'm trying to think if we had a barbecue. No, we didn't do a barbecue and watch the race. So I'm a Formula One fan, and some of my other friends are. And so what we'll do is like on race day, which is usually on a Sunday. I'll just take, because we got like a Roku TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll just actually take it, put it outside because it's nice outside, and we'll barbecue. We'll make a day of it, and we'll watch the race with our friends.
Yeah, I think you posted some pics of that. Maybe you didn't.
Yeah. So, yeah,
that's cool.
It's been an intense season this year, so that's one thing that I really watch, and then pay money to watch that. So that's
with the racing. Yeah. Like, do they have?
Yeah.
The teams that are like that year, whoever built this car is winning all the races. Like Ferrari this year made an engine that just wins pretty much all the races, and
no, it's Red Bull.
But it's close or whatever. You know what I mean? Or it's
not this year. Not this year. Red Bull's walking away. In fact, tomorrow could be tomorrow night at like midnight, because it's in Japan, could be the championship for Red Bull for Max Verstappen. But the Constructors Cup. The Constructors Cup, Red Bull is still going to pull away from it, but Ferrari and Mercedes are fighting for second place. So, but Max Verstappen will more than likely take the championship this year. He just has to win one more race, and that's it. He's won the whole thing, and there's still like four more races to go after this.
Oh wow!
So, and he's just that far ahead in the points division. So it's not like last year. Last year was down to the final race between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, and it was down to like the final few laps, and there was a huge controversy about it last year. So yeah, I kind of geek out about that stuff with my buddies. So
that's good to have that though in your life.
Yeah. So, and
it's a nerddom of sorts.
Oh yeah. Like one of the best days that we had here at the beginning of summer was we went out to one of the local parks here. And it was a bunch of our friends who were all from Brazil. So it was like a Brazilian of them, and we just went out to
what's really
park in St. Albert, and we were just gonna hang out and have a barbecue, and it wound up being like an all-day affair. So we got there about noon. I think we left there about 9 o'clock at night.
Oh wow!
So it was awesome just to hang out with with a bunch of people, and there was a Latin fest that was actually happening in the park at the same time. So there's like music going on and tons of people.
Oh, nice!
It was really cool. Yeah. It was a really good time that we had.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's
any God stories that you have over the summertime? How did God move you? How did you move with God?
Well, the biggest movement in my life is probably one the same as yours. It's my dad. So for those of you that only know us through this podcast, I spoke of my dad. So Father's Day was our last episode.
It was. Yeah.
That we recorded. And I told some stories about my dad. And since then, he's gone to be with Jesus. So
yeah,
he was walking alongside the river one Sunday afternoon. So that day, they watched Dr. Jeremiah was his favorite. He's one of those typical Bible teacher guys, Open me in your Bibles, and they'd study the book of Revelation or whatever. And he's a very good orator, and that was my dad's jam. After Dr. Jeremiah went for a walk along the river and sat down under his favorite tree, and that's where the Lord took him.
Yeah.
So that was a strange phone call to get. I teased my mom about it a bit because they never phoned me. Like ever since I got off of my landline, we've been on cell phones forever. Literally not one phone call. I have to phone. They don't phone my cell.
Huh.
So the very first time Mom phoned my cell, She's crying when I answer the phone, and I knew right away.
Yeah, something happened. Something's not right.
Yeah, so, and you were there for the memorial. That was really awesome.
Yeah, no,
that was one
awesome
of the best meetings I've ever been at.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great to finally be able to. It was kind of funny because we were joking about it while we were there. It's like, yeah, sure, we had to drive like 14 hours away from our houses to actually meet, when really we only live like 3 hours down the road from each other.
Yeah, it's just not a really big drive for me to Edmonton, but yeah.
No.
We haven't seen it. We got to hug each other, but yeah, we had to drive across 2 provinces to do it.
Yeah. So it was good to hang out with you in person there, and because the thing was, Brandy and I were like, man, we really need to like set aside some time and actually go down and see you guys in North Battleford there.
Yeah, we need to plan a thing.
And then we got the call as well, and it's just like, oh crap. Yeah. So that was how our summer ended.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that other than that was, I mean, I still haven't, the only time I cried thinking about my dad was actually your dad did a comment on Facebook about getting to use the inside track now when they play crib. So for those that don't know crib, there's, on the classic board, there's red and blue lines that with the pegs that they go in, and my dad always picked the middle or the blue one because it was the inside track.
Yeah,
which is a joke because they're all the same, but he just always had to be blue on the inside track, and so your dad had mentioned that now at least I can use the inside track, and then that made me cry for some reason. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. That was a rough end for our summertime.
Yeah, so. There was a lot of emotion. I was more worried about my mom, to be honest, but not after I left. I was way less worried.
Yeah,
and there was a break because he was cremated, so there was like a 3-week break before we even got there. I wanted to go right away, and that was a hard 3 weeks stressing about this, because we had just been out there and then I had to drive out again. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. But it was awesome that you guys actually got to go down there before.
Yeah. And I got another. Yeah. So if you remember the story, you can go back an episode and listen to the stories about me and my dad. In the later years, our thinking was different. So as a reconstructed, rebooted Christian, I think differently about a lot of things than him, and that I know it scared him. So the like, I guess a year or more ago when we went to BC, we had a few little not even heated discussions, just vehement, or I don't know what's the term, but we didn't argue or fight. But the intensity level would go up.
Intense discussions. And
I didn't want to go there, but then it would just happen because things would happen, and we're both passionate about things.
Yeah.
And this time when we went out, the last time I was with Dad, I didn't want to do it at all, and we did pretty good. But I could sense the tension. I could sense because he worried. His generation is different in a lot of ways, and I respect it. I actually I don't think less of, say, the boomers, because if you think about where they came from and why, from a Great Depression and the Second World War, and then the way evangelicalism was all built around Billy Graham and all this stuff, like it's a whole thing that they're all a part of, and I'm not blaming him for where he came from, that's for sure. And he was an awesome, loving, good man, but we thought differently. So, but the last thing I was able to say anyway, to make it shorter, I just looked him in the eye. The last thing I said to my dad was, Dad, I love you. I know that we think differently, but I want to assure you, I love Jesus more than anything and more than ever before. And I'm living my life to please him. And that's what matters. And he agreed, and we hugged each other, and we left on those terms.
Yeah.
Not angry at each other. And so, I'm super happy about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know at the time that was the last thing I'd tell my dad.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? We're like, you don't know when the last time you're actually going to meet somebody.
Yeah, I know.
It can just be, I mean, because that was a huge shock, even for myself when I mean, because you first posted it on the Discord, and I was like, wait, what? What the heck? And then so I phoned my parents, and they had just actually gotten back from your parents' place.
Yeah.
So, and yeah. So that was a huge shock to the system, because nobody was ready for it. Nobody was ready for that.
No, it was unexpected.
Unexpected.
I mean, like 3 years previous, he fell out of a dang tree with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And he got through that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, your dad, my Uncle Tim, I mean, he went in the most way that that was the perfect way.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I can't imagine a better way to be.
Oh, I mean, he loved the river, and when he sat underneath the tree in that spot right there, that's where he would talk to God.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he talked to God.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's where Jesus decided to say, hey, let's go fishing.
Also, he'd never been to the doctor in 14 years or something.
That's true.
But I mean, he always bragged about that. He teased me because I'm taking all these pills, right? Because I'm diabetic, so I'm on meds to make sure my heart doesn't have to work too hard. Mm-hmm. And I don't know I still don't take any pills. I'm like, well, Dad, maybe you should go check maybe. But that's all right. Even all the things we do, you don't know when. Yeah, it's just, you don't know. That's the point. You got to make sure you say the things that matter when you can. Yeah, absolutely. Any relationship. I mean, if your relationship with your wife, like it's my wife's birthday today, and we keep short accounts. We don't. Mostly, it's because of her. To be honest, she doesn't do well at putting aside or waiting to talk about things. Yeah. So we've had a lot of times when we're up all night or whatever, 2 or 3 in the morning until it's resolved. And that's not always best. I'm not saying, I know some people say don't go to bed angry or whatever. That's a load of crap. Sometimes you should just go to bed, and then when you wake up, you won't be angry and it'll make more sense. It's okay to sleep. Sometimes. But sometimes, if you're married to Gloria, then it's best to just keep working at it until you get it figured out. Yeah. I think our pastor that we had that did our premarital counseling, he says, don't buy a bed anything larger than a double. Because it's really hard to go to sleep angry when you have to constantly be touching the other person. That's good. Yeah, we only have a double. We've only got a double, and it's worked for us. And then, but Brandy and I also came up with the rule for our marriage. It's like no deep conversations after 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Well, that's a good one. Yeah, because I mean, she would go to bed, and she would all of a sudden want to have this deep conversation after 10 o'clock, and I'm already half asleep and falling asleep, and then she'd be angry because I'm not listening. And it's like, I just worked, and I have to go back to work, and because that's how I sleep. Yeah. So we'll go out for walks and stuff like that every day, and we'll discuss things then, and we do that Brandy, on date night or whatever. You have all that time to. Yeah. We actually do it all the time, but we've been doing this for 35 years or whatever, so we're kind of got into a rhythm. Yeah.
and never take, even to last, like, I think we're coming up on 25. You're 35 years of marriage?
I think so. 32.
32. Yeah, we're coming up on 1990.
Oh, the big 2.5, the silver.
Yeah, we're coming up on the 25th. I think that's this year.
Is that silver or is that tinfoil?
That's, no, it's tinfoil. Silver. It's tinfoil. I mean, silver. Yes. So yeah, we were coming up on that this year, and don't take the other person for granted.
Moments even, you can't do that. You just can't.
Yeah. Don't take each other for granted. So.
There you go. That's our marriage seminar.
Marriage seminar. There you go. Don't take each other for granted. There you go. Boom. Truth bombs everywhere. Yeah. So for me in the summertime, I have a whole bunch of like little God stories, Jesus stories that happened to me. If you don't mind.
Oh, do it.
All right. So, I mean, and this is going to go kind of contrary to what we were going to speak on today.
Oh,
but because it's about if you do something good, don't brag about it. Don't be braggadocious about it.
We'll do that next time.
But that's next time.
Yeah.
Today is just us catching up.
We're doing a
catch
up and share time. Yeah. We need to do this.
This is we're gonna have ketchup and fries today. So, I noticed my neighbor next door. They're quite elderly now, and he can't get around without a walker. And his wife was having to do a lot of the lawn care. And this is a neighbor that I had broken relationship with. Like, I had broken it about 10 years ago. We had said some things back and forth to each other and haven't talked to each other since. But then I noticed that they were struggling to even mow their lawn. So I was like, you know what, while I'm out there, because after watching The Chosen and stuff like that, and how Jesus got James and John, I think it was, to plow the field for the Samaritan, I was like, okay, God, I will mow their front yard, at least their front yard, so that way the city isn't going to give them a ticket or anything like that. It's connected to mine. It's going to take me an extra 5-10 minutes. Doesn't matter. Right? It's just that way their yard is mowed and they don't have to worry about it. So then I'm sitting there, I'm mowing the lawn, and all of a sudden, like, in my head, I hear the voice of the same actor who plays Jesus. He's like, the backyard too. The backyard too. And I'm like, oh, because they leave, they go away every weekend to they have an acreage by a lake, and every weekend they go camp there. So I'm doing this without them even knowing. So I'd mow their whole yard, front yard and backyard. And, a few weeks go by and they're like, who's mowing our yard? Right? And then Brandy spilled the beans and she's like, oh, Daniel's been doing it. And so they're like, what? And then so it actually healed the relationship. We actually started talking again.
Well, that's good.
So that's like, wow, that's like, Jesus in action, right? There we are, as just like, it healed, it opened up the doors of communication again to talk to each other once again. So that's been really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then we had, for the Vineyard Church in Canada, we actually had our first national gathering of all the vineyards happened this summer in Calgary. So Brandy and I finally attended one. This is our very first national gathering. For those of you who don't know, I am a worship leader, worship pastor at a Vineyard Church in Edmonton, Alberta. And so we're attending the one down in Calgary. Now, the day before, the weekend before, because the gathering was happening on a Thursday, I took the whole week off. The weekend before, I'm like, okay, I'm going to clean my car. I'm going to get everything ready, like do a whole bunch of yard work and everything else. Get ready for, taking the end of the week off to go down to Calgary. My son shows up to do the oil change in his car, and I notice that his headlights are fairly cloudy. So I polish his headlights just so that they're clear again, so he can see better, because he was taking off to Fort McMurray for a few months to go work. Well, I stood up after polishing his headlights, and my back was messed right up. I could not stand up properly.
Oh, wow.
The rest of the week, I was bedridden. I could barely walk. And because it was just painful. Like I had to spend most of my time in bed for that whole, for my holidays. Most of the time was actually in bed. Like I didn't get to do the window frame that we have to replace in one of our in our house, and cleaning up the garage and doing everything else, like the studio, like trying to get everything ready, just to be on holidays. And I couldn't do it. And then the drive down to Calgary from Edmonton was painful because I drive a standard transmission car, so it was painful. And
the proper way to drive a vehicle.
Yeah. But the really cool thing was I didn't ask for it, but I was healed on the first night.
Wow.
My back was fine. 100% fine. Fine enough that I actually wound up running video camera for most of the sessions for my friend. So I was able to stand there and actually run a video and shoot all the video for the national conference. So I was like,
and this wasn't, so it wasn't like a demonstrative thing. This is something God just did for you.
He just did it for me. I didn't ask for it, and you know what? I didn't even tell anybody about it until afterwards. Because it just like after the first night, as like my back was still a little sore, I woke up the next morning completely healed.
See, I like that because
blown away.
I'll be honest, I'm one of the skeptic kind of guys, and partly because of all the trash you see from people that you know are in it for the money, like the demonstrative guys that are showing off in front of a whole bunch of people, throwing their coats and only healing people that have invisible ailments.
Yeah.
You know, that makes it harder. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in a God that can heal. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And just hearing those kind of things is great. Yeah.
And so, you know, that was the awesome thing. The only downside about it was we did catch COVID though.
Oh.
He healed my back, but we caught COVID.
There's always a payoff, right? Not really.
That's right. I was like, I kind of figured that was going to happen anyway. I was like, we're meeting with about, a few hundred other people from all over the country.
All right. I'll fix your back, but you're going to get COVID.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it forever.
Yeah. And then it was shortly after that Uncle Tim had passed away. So yeah. And now everything is everything. I can't go into. Some people on the Discord may know that I posted something kind of cryptic in our prayer thing, just asking for prayers. Just going through some real challenges right now, and I can't say what they are probably until next time that we actually do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But for all those people who are praying into it, thank you very much for your prayers. Thank you very much. So,
yeah. I mean, we could say in general, it's stuff regarding how you do church and stuff with your, but
yeah, no, I can't
everyone. I understand all those kind of things, and I'm always in that mind. Like I personally, right now, as far as church, I'm kind of done with it, to be honest. Like not church, the church and Christians and people who love Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole system, how it's set up. I can't, in good conscience, ever want to be a part of it anymore. I want to be around Christians. I want to meet. I want to meet around God's word. I want to pray. I want to praise. I want to do all the things, but that are set forth like in the Bible. But the more I watch and see, and it just feels like a lot of money spent and time spent on something that doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
But that might be too harsh. I don't know. We can talk more about that maybe another time. That's kind of where I'm at now. But part of my desire, I'd love to have a home church started, or a home church network, or be a part of that. But like I said before, I don't have the energy to pour into that that kind of thing. Like I can't be a crusader right now for any cause. I can't be the guy trying to start a trend or a movement or any of that. There's been times in my life I wanted. That's why I say that. Like I'm kind of past that now.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing because but then I think, well, there's people like that change the world. Like, what if Martin Luther said, you know what? I'm just not going to fight it, and didn't nail up that statement on the door of the church saying, nah. Like, he started the Reformation. And people like him like changed the whole way we do church.
And he's one of the OG deconstructionists. I mean, that's been happening forever.
Yeah, it's always
because real deconstruction is like where you sort of like take it apart. You take it apart and you're like, okay, what's the actual truth here? But you have to build it back up.
Yeah. That's why I don't even like that term anymore. A lot of people are moving away from it. Yeah, deconstruction, because it doesn't really say the whole thing.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot of bad press lately.
Well, actually, there's a whole crusade against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's got bad press.
Yeah. They're really trying to, like people like me, they're trying to just, the woke, they're so against being woke. They use that term woke. Like, I think I'm woke now because I see things differently, and people preaching on it left and right about how wokeism is tearing the church apart. Back to the Bible. Let's go back to it's kind of scary.
Just focus on Jesus and what he did.
Yeah, that's why I love this, and I'm glad we're back at this, because this is, for me, very rewarding, and I think that people that listen to us on the regular are talking and thinking about those same things. What does all this mean in regards to what does Jesus mean to me, and how can I? So, like, my little God stories are all little, but I like to have them every day.
Oh, so nice.
I like to do... When I go to Walmart, I'm not just there to shop and stuff. I see people around me. I'm an empath of sorts, and I see things, and I have to hold it back because I want to comment lots, but I don't. I know it's weird to talk to random people all the time. But in an instance where I'm at the till with someone or whatever, I can talk to them, and I want to be that one person in their day that they remember when they go home. That guy was so encouraging, or so.
Okay,
I want to be the person that lifts. Yeah, I want to be the person that lifted him up, because there's plenty of jerks along the way that made their day terrible. Yeah. I want to be that positive person. At work too.
Yeah, especially to the person who's behind the till, because that's just their job, and they've been dealing with Karens all day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Unfortunately. I worked retail for a couple of years, and yes, it happens. So.
Oh yeah. They lose it, and you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why are you so mad?
Exactly. And it's not like I did retail like a long time ago. This is only just like a couple of years ago I did that.
Oh yeah. Long and McQuaid. You're wearing this sweater.
I'm wearing the sweater because it's actually a little bit chilly up here in Canada. So
yeah, it's been going below zero, so
it's like hovering right around zero, like 5 degrees, 3 degrees, 1 degree Celsius for those of us.
For the American friends,
for the American friends.
Freezing for them is 33, I think, Fahrenheit.
33 degrees above zero, I believe.
Their 33 is freezing. So when they're minus 10, it's actually colder than our minus.
Than our minus 10. Yeah. Minus 30 is minus 30 on both ends is still minus 30.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's the freedom units. I don't understand too much.
Please, people, please switch to metric. But those are my kind of God stories. And we run into people all the time, and then pouring myself into others. So we have a friend that we met, he's between my son's ages, when they were young, playing on the playground. He was a kid that's from a home that has its challenges. I won't describe it too much, but he didn't have a good Christian upbringing. But he's always been in our life. Kid with autism, higher functioning, and he's an adult now. But we've been his friend. We've adopted him as part of our family in the sense. He comes and goes, and he has cookies, and he just relaxes in our house and does stuff with my sons, and we're having him over for turkey dinner because he's on his own now. Like, he moved out to live on his own for the first time. He's in his younger 20s. Well, we've known him since he was a kid. And I'm in it for the long game. My Jesus game, I want to be that. I don't want to. So I'm in it for the short game. Just like at that till, that person, like you said, we might never see this person again or have this chance. What am I going to do? I'm not going to give him a tract. I'm not going to say, try to trick them into saying the sinner's prayer. I'm just going to love them with the love of Jesus. And the Holy Spirit is in that moment, even though it's just an ordinary moment. And I'm just saying, you know what? You're so good at your job. Or like, thanks for being so positive or whatever. You're making my day better and things like that. That is to me the essence of a small one moment in time thing that can change someone's life.
Yeah.
But then there's got to be people in your world too that you're in it for the long game. It's like we made that commitment when this kid was young. And for a while it was annoying because he just show up. I'm doing something and then he shows up and knocks on my door. Hey, can I get a thing or whatever? Or do a thing? Can I visit your whatever? And but that one didn't last long. Eventually God worked on my heart and stuff. And it was like, nah, this is what it is. This is what it's about. I'm not gonna, this is hospitality. Yes. I grew up with the impression that hospitality was having people from church over for lunch on Sunday afternoon, which is hospitable and it's good. But I think Jesus is calling us to have homes that are open to lots of people.
Oh yeah.
Not that you have to run a soup kitchen, but I said,
I run a soup kitchen.
We've chosen a few people along the way that know they can come to our house and relax and be themselves, and that's it. Yeah. And so I've been loving this guy long term for a long time. I've never once sat him down and said, hey, can I tell you about how Jesus died on the cross for your sins? I don't think I need to do that. I think I just got to keep loving him. He knows what we believe. And there's been times we do our family devotions when he's over for supper or whatever, things like that, because we like to read the Bible and pray it. Nothing big, just something simple at supper times. And he's like, thanks for the grub, God. He'll pray or whatever, and we're cool. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it is. There is the long game. There's the short, like you said, there's the short game, and then there's the long game.
I just made that up right now, but that sounds pretty cool.
No, that's exactly it. And you know that is like church.
Yes.
Right. That is because that's what we as Christians are supposed to be doing anyway. Like really, your Sunday service is just supposed to be one day when you gather with other people, just to celebrate who God is. And then the rest of the time is you're supposed to be out there. Okay, so you said you believed on Sunday and you praised God on Sunday. So, you have to be God to the rest of the world. You have to be Jesus to the rest of the world. Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Christ has no body now but yours. It's a Mother Teresa poem.
Sounds like it should be a t-shirt. It's a bumper sticker right there.
We are the eyes, the hands, all the things of Jesus and God on this world. Like the things he wants to do good in this world, he does through us.
Yeah.
They're okay. He can intervene. He can heal your back. He can do those things.
Yeah.
And we can pray, God, be with so-and-so. But God's like, I put you there to be with that person. So why are you asking me to be with them? I'm saying he's like nudging me out the door. Yeah. I want to be with them, but your butt's still in your chair in your house or in your church.
Yep.
God be with that homeless person. And go give him a sandwich.
Yeah, and one of the speakers had said at the national gathering is like, if you're seeing then a need that needs to be dealt with or that needs to be filled, maybe that's God giving you a mission for that.
Yeah, I love that.
Right?
I've heard that before
so,
too.
you know, and then of course I thought of like the movie Robots, and it's like, see a need, fill a need.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
Why do they call her Aunt Fanny? Well, we couldn't call her Aunt Booty.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
The late, great, how come I can't think of his name? Robin Williams. Was in that.
That's right.
He voiced that.
He voiced that.
That one red robot guy, the funny one.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that was such a good movie. I'm gonna have to watch that one again.
Yeah, it's super good. No, but that's right. I mean, God's expecting you to, maybe do something about it.
Yeah.
I've heard, like, people come to a pastor. You know what I think our church really needs is a mission to young mothers. Yeah. Okay. That's how can we help you? How can we help you run that program?
Exactly. Don't expect your church to do everything for you.
And I think a lot of it ends there, but I think a lot of times people do embrace it and say, I think a lot of times it's just people that don't believe they can do it.
Yeah. And let it be messy.
Yeah. And it's probably because of church culture. We kind of tend to like having paid people do awesome things and on a higher level. And we see it on YouTube and streaming all these epic places that, they're so talented in what they do. And that's really not where all the good stuff happens.
Yeah. And it's not. And it's, like, that's just it. Like life within a church is messy because you're getting involved with other people. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a little bit messy, right? And the biggest takeaway that I got from the national conference was, you know what, when like the Vineyard Church started out with a bunch of 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds being passionate for Jesus. That's how it started. Mm-hmm. Right? And so now we're all way older than 20 and 30 years old. But why aren't we letting the 20 and 30-year-olds take over? We should be, because they're the ones that are passionate about this more so than we are at times.
That's really big.
We might have the wisdom and everything else. So what we need to do is we actually need to hand off a lot of the things and let go. Because this is a relay race. You're talking about long game. This is like a relay race. Like, we're holding on to it. Are we holding on to our position in the church just a little bit too long? And we should be handing that off to somebody else. And when we do hand it off, let go and let them run with it.
Oh, that's really big. Because
right?
Like, really, all the people, so even people like my father, who I mentioned.
Yeah.
They get in this place, and I don't say this to condemn. I say it's because it's just a way we've been trained through church culture and other things to hold on to what we've always done. Yeah. Or even in the States, like Trump ran a whole campaign on Make America Great Again, thinking he would pull in all these people that want to be like in the 50s or the whatever, like the good old days back when Billy Graham was young and preaching, and we had Bible schools everywhere, and men had short hair and women wore dresses, and that's what comes up in their head is this old thing.
Yeah. And
we all tend to do that. Now you're confessing that basically we could do the exact same thing. It's like with the Vineyard Church. Hey, we started this way. We gotta hold on to the way we started. No.
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah. If it was good for you then in your 20s, maybe, or work together on something, but definitely don't push down their ideas and.
No. and let them run with it and let it be a little bit messy. Might find God in that. You might find God in that, right? It might be a little bit different than what we were used to before, but so what?
I kind of like messy, but I understand why people don't like messy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I try to, it's okay. Don't worry, little snowflake. It'll be okay. Some things happen. Things might have to change. You might have to look at your words on the screen when you sing instead of in a book. It'll be okay. Jesus still loves you. I mock, but
it's the only way I look at my words.
We all have trouble with changing things, right?
We all do. We get set in our ways, right? But I mean, I think God changes how he talks to us.
And one
it's
of the
different now than it was for me 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So different than it was 30 years ago.
For sure. And culture does. I mean, we're not losing our faith when we allow culture to help us understand God in a better way. Instead of just trying to hold on to something that's older.
Exactly.
We become irrelevant sometimes. If we're not, and it's not like we're rejecting the Bible or the teachings of, it's just like being a little more flexible.
And I'm not rejecting some traditions or traditionalists or anything like that. It's just, you know what? There are some different things out there, and we have to be okay with trying them, right? Because I even have some younger people who are attending our church now, and they love, set prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old liturgies. They love the old traditional liturgies.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Because it's like now people our age that are pushing against stuff that's older.
Oh, we did.
And
we
it's
totally
like,
did. And
it's like now they're going even farther back, but now we're like, oh no, those prayers are too Catholic or whatever. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But then you read those old liturgy prayers and stuff like that and responsive readings, and like, these are rich. These are really, really good to have in the church. Like, why wouldn't we do that? I mean, they've stood the test of time for like hundreds of years. Why not?
Yeah, I haven't posted in a while, but I got a bunch of those
808
prayers.
kicks and stuff.
I got a bunch of those prayers posted on my on our Discord.
Yeah.
I find them rewarding. I have some written in my Bible, my devotional Bible, that I, just on the regular for various things. I love them. And I like doing them as a group too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
It's taking off. But anyway, it's amazing that I'm happy for that movement, for the Vineyard movement, that it's doing that.
Yeah, we're trying. We are trying, and we'll get there. So, just need more young people coming to my church, which means that I need to reach out more to people.
Yeah, well, that's part of the change right now is going to be, and it's not just COVID to blame, is that coming to a church service is feeling less and less important to a whole different generation. They're like, why would I do that?
Yeah, and
your music's okay, but let's be honest, like, basically, if it's not a super church in California or somewhere, the music's like okay at best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's Sundays like, okay, that was pretty good. There wasn't too many screw ups in that. There wasn't too many people that don't sing very good. You know what I mean? The average church. Because it's not about being professional. Like, so you don't go there
That's
if you go there to hear a rock band, well, then you're silly because they're not going to be that good.
No.
As a musician, I'm like, it's very seldom I'm like, oh yeah, these are top quality musicians. Like, cause they're like the church I watch online now has awesome people that have some people that aren't that good at music, but they're online every Sunday, but they're not bad. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if that's why you go to a church, it's just doing it wrong.
Yeah. And okay, so let's just talk about the mega church for a bit, because I did talk with somebody who found out that Bethel Church in Redding, California.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones that started the whole worship movement. Yeah,
that's one of the big ones there, right?
Worship music movement.
Their production team budget per month is over $1 million. per month. I think it was like 1.5.
How did Jesus even operate without a $1 million budget for worship?
That's not their musicians. That's just the production team. That's everybody who's bringing you that stream. That's all the sound engineers, the camera operators, all the gear that they have.
Yeah.
Everything is $1.5 million.
High-end professionals that do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're wondering why your church can't sound or look like them, well, if you're spending $1.5 million a month, you will.
Because you got John from Walmart doing your sound. And he just learned last week because some other guy quit. So he doesn't even know what 80% of those buttons are.
It's like, this is like setting up a giant hi-fi.
But he loves Jesus and he's there to help and he just wants to do something for God. So
that's right.
You know, love the guy. It's going to squeal once in a while. He's like, yeah, I know that mic's too high or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got massive grace for that. Even though I'm like a tech nerd, like you look behind me and you see all the sound gear and stuff like that. But when it comes to the church performance, no, I've got massive grace for that because not everybody is as passionate about making it perfect like me for sound.
Yeah.
So
isn't that weird? Because we're both
and I'm leading. I can't do everything. I can't be tweaking all the sound while I'm playing guitar, while I'm singing, and while I'm listening to God at the same time to see what the Spirit is doing within this church service. So
we used to, back when I used to lead still, we would do, because there was pressure always to do the big band.
Yeah.
And look good and professional and all that. And I kind of was rebellious. Big surprise.
You? No.
It would just be me and Gloria. I'm like, okay, guess what? It's just me and my guitar and Gloria on the piano singing with me. That's it. No drums. Yeah. Oh, you guys got no drums? You got no? No, just me. Nope. This is what I'm doing. Sometimes if Gloria wasn't there, it'd just be me and my guitar.
Yeah.
In a big 200 some church. I'm like, yeah, well, this is okay too, you know?
Yeah. And you know, I'm a worship leader, pastor in a Vineyard church. 9 times out of 10, it's just me and a guitar. Post-COVID, because most of our musicians left. Right? But I do still have quite a few musicians hanging around. But a lot of times it's like, you know what? All we need this week is just like somebody to sing and an acoustic guitar, and it'll be good.
Are you hiring? Right? Like I could come out and play bass or whatever. What's your starting wage?
Okay, I'll give you
budget.
I'll give you the same amount that I'm making.
A can of soup. Tell you what, you drive up to Edmonton and play drums for me. I promise to open a can of tomato soup for you.
I'll do you one better. We will make tomato bisque and you can come over and have it at our house.
Ooh. Is that that was a classic for us for Sunday afternoon lunch? Biscuits with tomato soup.
Oh yeah.
And over the years you add stuff to it. My dad, that's one thing I got from my dad. He doctors his tomato soup.
Oh, absolutely.
So he always started with some crackers or whatever. And then once goldfish was a thing, we put goldfish in it.
Oh,
and then a goldfish and tomato soup, so good. And then he would put garlic powder.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started adding Tabasco, some kind of hot sauce. I do that too. And then one time, so I'm doing all that. And then I get sometimes Italian spices, which is nice. And then I started putting 1 spoonful of Cheese Whiz. You kind of just put it in there and melt it, and goldfish. It's like so doctored up. It's almost everyone's done by the time you're done doctoring up your tomato soup.
You sat there and made yourself a stew while they're still eating soup.
Well, we're at the 1 hour mark, so let's say one more thing each. What do you want to leave them with? This. So we're gonna. By the way, we're gonna get back to reading the Sermon on the Mount. We'll work through that. So we're starting in Matthew chapter 6, the first chunk. 6. So if you want to prepare yourself, get ahead and start reading that. Because we're gonna dig into that. But we knew we'd have some catching up to do. So.
Oh yeah, because we had like 3 months off here and
people are mostly here for us. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's not the More About Us podcast, the More About Jesus podcast.
Yeah. Although you did get quite a few shout outs from like Bubba and Anna on the
dang it, I gotta listen
on
to that
today's
now.
episode of Church Nerds. So a huge shout out to LTN.
Yeah, Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network is something you can look up, and the Church Nerds podcast is easily my most listened to podcast.
Yeah, I listen to them.
It's the one I don't miss.
Yeah, that one's. Oh, you missed today's.
And in 1 week, today's. I don't listen today's. Always on the day because my morning was really busy today.
Things get busy.
Tomorrow I will listen for sure.
But I mean, a huge shout out to them as well because they did host 8 of our episodes over the summertime.
Yeah, LTN Radio had us playing.
LTN Radio, yeah,
which is awesome.
So thank you very much for including us in the Love Thy Nerd community.
Yeah, and so that's my last thing I want to say. In a week, so I'll be right in the middle of LTN Con a week from today.
Yeah, it's like next
already
weekend.
Be in New Albany, Indiana. Yes.
New Albany, Indiana. Yes.
Louisville, Kentucky is where I'm flying to, which is basically New Albany is just across the river from them or whatever.
Yeah. So anybody who's going to be out there, go check it out.
Yeah. So here's you want to meet one of the stars of the More About Jesus podcast.
And when you were there,
we'll have a meet and greet there.
Yeah. Go and say hi to Bubba and Anna.
The bearded one. You'll get to meet him. Yeah, actually Anna won't be there, so it's just going to be Bubs.
Oh, just going to be Bubba. Oh, that's right, because a lot of people
they live in Dallas, so it's a lot of a flight, and they got 17 kids or something like that. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and you'll be able to catch up with Mike Warmbier.
Yeah, Matt Warmbier.
Oh, it's Matt? Matt. I thought it was Mike. I apologize profusely.
Yeah, I'll be right by them. Actually, I'm staying at Frost and Asia's house. Luke and Asia.
Oh, nice.
That's where I'm
staying. You're staying with Asia? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a dream. She's like my favorite little Asian island daughter.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome that you guys get to hang out.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I am jealous. I'll be honest.
Well, there's always
I'm a little
next
bit
year.
jealous. Yeah. Well, my goal for this week is to actually join the LTN Discord as well. So.
Oh, nice. You're welcome.
My wife will cringe a little bit about that because I spend enough time in Discord already. So.
Oh, they're a busy, big Discord too. I don't even touch 10% of it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
maybe opening up a can of worms, but.
No, they can find your nerd. They have lots of stuff because there's lots of different kinds of nerds there.
Oh, cool.
Love the nerd. Check it out. Okay.
That's right.
What do you have to say?
No, that was it, man.
Cool.
That was it. Big, huge shout out to Love the Nerd for hosting us over the summertime, and while we were on a break, and we gave them a bunch of our episodes. So that was for really
free.
Cool. Yeah.
I still haven't seen the check for that, but I'm not rushing them about it.
Well, you can talk to Bubba about that when you're down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for sure.
Hey, you're supposed to pay me for something?
I'll just make the symbol.
Yeah. There you go. Just,
you're welcome. That's something I learned that from him. Okay. So yeah, that's it. So what else do we have to promote? If you want to know, right there on the screen, if you're on YouTube, More About Jesus 3 on Twitter. With the @ sign. You know that if you're on Twitter, you know that there's an @ in the front. Mm-hmm. We have an email that no one has used, but I still got to say it. moreaboutjesus21@gmail.com. If you want to tell us Bible verses about how wrong we are about things or something, you could post them there.
Yeah.
That's sarcasm.
And you can join us on our Discord.
Yeah, we have a Discord. So
we do have a Discord.
I'll be sharing stuff more on Facebook and other things, and on our Twitter, so that you can get links to our Discord and all those kind of things. And we're here for you. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I'm Al.
I'm Daniel.
And we'll be back in a couple weeks after LTNCon to talk more about Jesus.
More about Jesus. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. We love everybody out there.
Totally.